All right. Starting off season 2 of the UPDL, we are hitting me with a banger. Now, this is a lore entrenched matchup with me. This is a Bible story. This is a fucking heater and a half. This is my sister, Coach Charlotte, Coach Shardy, head of the Burlington Bayleefs. Now, this one is crazy. We had just recently played a mini multis draft as co-coaches of the Orthboro Worms. And now we're starting our seasons off with a head-to-head in the singles league. So, this team was also redrafted from Ari. Coach Ari, she dropped out of the league due to the desire to focus on school. Totally valid, reasonable. But that left my sister, Charlotte, with a team to adapt to her own. So there are some staples of the previous team, Marlin Friends, and there are some newbies. Starting off with Lopunny, we have a crazy heater up top in a 17-point tier. This thing is scary. You can see right there, it's KD being 6-2. It does a thing or two. That thing being be fast, punch hard. That 135 speed tier just going crazy. That is a holdover from the original team. Gliscor is a pickup. You don't need any introduction for this demon. He's got the Toxic. He's got the Earthquakes. He's got the Protect. He's going to come in. He's going to ruin your day. Alolan Ninetales giving some great support. That Aurora Veil just going ham. This also sets this up as a Battle of the Weather. My team, of course, supporting Torkoal, so I've got the slower weather setter, the advantage on that. Wordeer with a Terra Psychic, Electric, and Ground. Crazy heater. Cannot deny it. The mixed attacker, the Trailblaze, I'm pretty sure it gets random abilities. It gets like Sap Sipper, Intimidate. This thing does things that you're just not prepared for. Orthworm is a Bloodline classic. I ripped this in Season 1 with Terra Fighting as well. I think Terra Poison too. No, maybe Terra Fire. And then in the multi-league, me and Coach Charlotte both ripped Orthworm together. So in every season of this draft, a person of my blood has run an Orthworm. You love to see it. It's a Dynasty classic coming back for the second Rapture. After this, we got Hitmontop, Rapid Spinner, Intimidator, Fighter, Extraordinaire with that weird 110 special defense, giving it a niche, but weak to like two of the big special attacking types in Psychic Fairy. Strange Bond, but you can't deny it. 3-3-3 on the KDA right now. A is, of course, not being assists, but being appearances. Heatermon. We've got Tapu Fini. You know this guy. Psychic Terrain. No. Misty Terrain. Absolute demon. Just sits on the field. It lives. It don't die. And it's a pain in the ass. Got to be my least favorite Tapu to play against, because at least the other ones will pop like paper, or with Lele, I don't know, they're cute. There's something about that. Hisuian Zoroark, the Trickster Extraordinaire, they're showing up. They got the hair. They've got the dare. They've got the tricks. You don't know what's coming in. Hisuian Arcanine, love it. While prepping for this one, I was scared as hell of Scarf Arcanine with that head smash, because what do you do there? You get out sped with that solid enough 90 under his Scarf, and then you just pop like a balloon, especially with Rockhead where you're taking no recoil damage. Extreme speed in the back. This thing can outspeed you one way or another. It's definitely a danger. Hisuian Samurott pulling up with the crazy Hisuian team. Spikes for free with that AV if you want it. It's just a good mon. Sharpness going crazy with that Secret Sword pack. There's a whole lot of things that this guy can do. Finally, rounding it out. Ooh, not trying to spoil the good fun for you. Dipplin. Terra Captain. Now, Dipplin doesn't seem as scary until you remember that you can't get rid of that Eviolate, and it's rocking an effective, like, 165, 120 base defenses on top of 80 HP. You turn that thing away from a kind of cruddy Grass Dragon type, and you've got yourself something that is built to last. Now, Dipplin, you got to be scared of this, folks. Dipplin's going to come and it's going to get his scent all over you. He's going to get you all sticky. Don't want that. Don't want that at all. All right, coming on over to the Poke Paste here. We got our roster set up. While prepping, I was scared the hell away from Megalop Honey. There are a lot of threats here to deal with that. And starting off, we've got LeBron James, our hooper with the adrenaline orb. The Shardy's team has 3 Intimidators, or 2. It's got Word here, it's got Hip on top, and I think, Hisuian Arcanine, yes. 3 Intimidators, so I put an Adrenaline Orb on there because if Hoopa could get that speed, crept to God knows what, I don't remember for one, I didn't write this shit down. Neither should you, for the record. But this Hoopa was made to get that boost off, maybe get a Calm Mind, and then try to chunk through as much as it can. It's got that Terra Blast to hit those quad ice weaknesses. This is a Terra Ice captain. Thing hitting crazy with that Terra boost, with that Terra Blast. Gotta love it. Next up we got Jaundice Dog, my beautiful shiny Lucario here. He's ripping a Slackberry. This was in part for Mega Lopunny. The idea with Steadfast is to get that speed boost if the Fake Out comes out. Or is Steadfast the one that makes you immune? I don't know. Lucario's got 3 of the same abilities that do slightly different things that are kind of slightly useful. And in this case, where you're worried about the Lopunny Fake Out, they're all actually useful. Anywho, we got the Endure Slackberry set to get that speed boost to outspeed a Mega Lopunny and hit her with the Brick Break and turn her off. Swords Dance on there as well if you get the opportunity to click it. That Steel Fighting type doing some good resistances, getting you perhaps a chance in there. And yeah, that's about it. The game plan there is to boost up and sweep. And they were going to be my lead if Mega Lopunny felt like a real threat to my team. We're running next up, Leavanny here, ripping it with Terra Rock, another Terra Captain on the field. Jolly, max attack outside of that. And we've got a Swords Dance B-Pass set with Triple Axle and Sticky Web. Now, Sticky Web here is a great insurance policy against those grounded threats. It can really make Lopunny's 135 speed just not a threat outside of that Fake Out chip. And it's good. I mean, Sticky Web on a draft team, it also kind of forces hazards in on the opponent. So you gotta respect the webs. Gotta respect those guys who make you sticky. Next up with the broken PNG, we got that Kabuki Scrams, my Ogre Pawn, my Hearth Flame Mask, Under Sun coming from Torkoal over in the bottom left there. They have a horrible, nasty Ivy Cudgel. Like that thing's hitting an unbelievable base power with the Hearth Flame Mask boost, the max attack. I guess this is actually not max attack. This is just 252 attack. But with the attack EVs, that Hearth Flame Mask, and the Sun Boost on that Fire Ivy Cudgel, it's taking names. We're running Spiky Shield as more Fake Out insurance. I know that Charlotte loves the Fake Out, so I made sure to have plenty of answers to it. And Trailblaze kind of lets Ogre Pawn run away with the game. I think that after a speed boost, they were tearing through most of that enemy team with just Horn Leech, Spiky Shield for the off turns, and Ivy Cudgel to smack them dead. So main physical breaker here, big powerhouse. Love my Ogre Pawn. Down in the bottom left, we got Telephone with Torkoal holding the Heat Rock with that drought ability. Torkoal is here to do 2 things, which is set Sun and get rid of hazards. Lava Plume's nice for the burn. It could shut down one of those scarier physical attackers. And then Iron Defense Body Press honestly feels like I just didn't know what I was doing on the end set of this Torkoal. Like, honestly, looking into the team, I don't feel like this is the way to go at all, but hey, it was there, and let's see if it worked. Finally, we got Birdman Freka running the boots, my Tornadus Therian, Regenerator, that elite speed tier of 121, outspeeding about everything other than Lopunny on that team, if I'm not mistaken. And we're running Boots, Defog, making sure no hazards get by here. Air Slash, Focus Blast, and U-Turn. Now, Focus Blast is for the gamble, and then I didn't want to be running like Bleak Wind Storm or Hurricane for those low accuracy checks. So we chose Air Slash, and that ended up being a major deciding force in this game. We'll see that later. Honestly, looking back at this, the boots are a little superfluous. Like, the main hazards coming out of that team are not going to be Stealth Rocks unless they're coming out of, like, Earthworm. You're really going to be looking at Spikes and Toxic Spikes, which you're flying high above anyways. So maybe I could have put, like, a Life Orb or some kind of regen, like Chippy healing from leftovers. or that citrus berry pack that I loved so deeply in Season 1. But regardless, we got our designated flying stab, our defogger, with some good pivot in that U-turn regenerator to keep it healthy and doing its job. Alright, cracking into the replay here. We've got love, we've got loss, we've got lorn, we got other words that begin with L. It's going to be a good time. Stakes are on the line. Family matters might be shattered. You don't know what's possible, folks. It's week 1 of Season 2. Anything is possible. Breaking right into it, we get the face-off. Well, before even that, we get the face-off. Gliscor, Arcanine, Lola Tails, Zoroark, Dipplin, and Tyrogue. Now, I'll tell you that I don't think I prepped enough for Dipplin, but I have some ice coverage for Gliscor, and outside of a Fairy Terra or Steel Terra, we could perhaps tax that out. It makes the switching hard for Dipplin here. Arcanine with a Scarf is something that I'm very worried about. Honestly, the prio on this team is not here. If this thing has a Scarf, it's Rockhead Head Smash without missing. That could be the end of days, folks. The Apocalypse can come, and the fire, it's named Arcanine. Weather Wars are also in play. We got the Torkoal and the Alola Tails. That is very much on the table here. And of course we got Zoroark shenanigans. You can never trust anything. And I won't lie before we crack into this, I played this game just not even considering it. I see it in this lineup, and I proceed object permanence, I forget about it. And we'll see whether or not that becomes a thorn in my side or not. Breaking into it, we get the first face-off. Tornadus into Gliscor, flying into flying, and we see an Air Slash come right out. And this could be a bad moment here. We could see a Toxic, which could really mess with Tornadus' ability to stay in or really pivot in and out and get those defog turns out at expense of Regenerator being chipped down a little bit less than you'd like to see it. But we get that flinch. Toxic goes up, but the heal does not yet. Protect comes out, feeling good. Another Air Slash. Press it again, why don't we? Get him back up there. Air Slash, folks. I really hate to do this to my own blood, to my sister. I've grown up with this woman. I've given her Christmas gifts every year. I think every year. Don't check me on that. Maybe I'm not as good a brother as I think I am. But you hate to do it, especially to a loved one. Another flinch. You get that poison heal up, and we swap Torkoal. Now, I don't know what I was thinking here. I think I saw the writing on the wall that Gliscor could just PP stall me out of Air Slashes, and then I'm losing out on some pretty important hitting capability with my Tornadus. But we swap it, and we swap it into a Protect. The turn goes awry. And we get the EQ here, doing 36%. Not honestly the worst thing in the world, but this Torkoal is lacking any form of recovery, so you don't want to see that sustained. We press the Iron Defense. Take no more because it was already their turn. And Gliscor's almost up back at full here. Those flinches are long forgotten. We're moving up back to our rightful seat in the world here. I decide, nah, no more Torkoal. Toxic Spikes come out here. Now that's a nice move. Honestly, with Torkoal pressing that Iron Defense, you're probably expecting a body press, which Gliscor is going to resist, and with how little physical damage it takes later, we can tell that this thing was definitely Fizz Def invested. So that's a real nice Toxic Spike there, especially with my Grounded Poison Clodsire not showing up to the battle. Can just honestly provide some solid chip throughout the battle if it doesn't get removed. I take a defog here, just getting rid of that spike while I have the spot for it, and the Gunk Shot comes out, and it's pretty solid chip. We got that 9% critical hit U-turn being literally forgotten about as soon as it happens. And we're out to Leavanny. Now, look folks, the Gunk Shot is coming in on the swap. It's going to be a big hit, but we live it. Now, we know that my Leavanny is packing triple Axle here. That's a potential one-hit KO even on Spadef or defense invested. Right, and looking back at the replay, this thing's also got lowered evasion, so that's not helping him with any of these 90% accuracy blasts here. And I've got this outspeeded chlorophyll, like 611 speed against this Gliscor. Outspeeding it because of the ability. And I hope you can guess my next play. Of course we sword stance. Now, this was a ballsy play. This was a greedy play. This was a bad play. We could have taken the one in the bush, or the one in the hand, but we opted for the two in the bush, and you know what? Those chickens got away. We're not eating dinner tonight. Gliscor presses the gunk shot, lands it again, gone. So we're not B-passing that sword stance. I think the idea was to give it to Ogre Pawn and just end the game outright. Not happening. Gliscor's sitting here. And now with an important ice type attack off my board, Gliscor's looking scary. This thing is looking like it might be here to stay. And I was grappling with the reality of Gliscor just sitting there and hawing its way through my entire team. A post-game note here. I asked Charlotte why she didn't swap here, and she said it was that she didn't even know that Leovani got Ice Spinner. So I played the Fool's Gambit. I got out Fool's Gambited. We hit the double Fool, and you know what? It wasn't on my side. But we live and we learn, people. This moment was actually a big inspiration for me, changing my methodology to make sure I'm trying to take those kills when I can, if I can. Anywho, moving on from that sore callus that is the dead Leovani. We take another air slash, a gunk shot, pretty solid chunk, and this time we get the poison, which is just not what you want to see on somebody who's trying to get that chip healing. That chip damage is going to hurt whether you like it or not. Protect coming up for that poison heal, but what can you do? Another air slash, another flinch. That's number 3, people. Air slash was only on this set because I didn't feel like missing Bleakwood Storm or Hurricane, and it's paying the dividends I never wanted it to. At this point, I'm feeling dirty. I'm feeling like I'm Cain in the biblical story, in which I'm doing my own family wrong, horribly wrong. But I don't roll the dice. Some small monkey in a box owned by Pokemon Showdown rolls the dice, and they were coming up Flynn this time around. Poison Heal goes off. We switch back to Hoopa. Protect goes down. Now, we get a lucky break here. The biggest threat to my immediate survival, getting hard-walled by this Gliscor, is ended. Now, I don't remember if the calc on this Gliscor's gunk shot could have just outed me right here and then. I think if I lost the Hoopa here, it was kind of just sad times. I don't know if I could have even won at all. But we get that Terror Blast hitting like a slug to the chest, and it's a wave of relief here. Arcanine comes out. We don't have the Adrenaline Orb activation, so we're probably running Rockhead, and I'm worried that we've got that Scarf Rockhead Head Smash coming in. So, of course, we swap Torkoal. This is a risky play. We're hoping that they're going to go for the Flare Blitz instead of the Head Smash, or miss the Head Smash if they do go for it. You can see here I said Rockhead. Bam. Drought comes up. We give Arcanine that extra Flare boost, Blitz damage, because why not? And then the Head Smash comes out, confirming it's not a Scarf, making my speed tiers feel a little safer. And that miss. Oh, that miss. That miss feels like a fine sandwich on a lovely summer's day. I'll tell you. This lets us get a body press up. Interesting choice, but honestly, Torkoal's my best look here. We get the Intimidate out of the wrong fella here. We get it out of the Hitmontop. Spinny Tyrogue. Medium Tyrogue. But solid chunking out of this body press nonetheless, especially after an attack drop. I guess it's using my defense, but shh, don't talk. Don't you guess me. Don't you second guess me. Don't you second guess me. Hitmontop puts up that Earthquake, and we're gone. We weren't expecting that. And Tornus comes out. We go for that U-turn, which is interesting because with the outspeed, I think we could have just happily gone for an air slash there. Don't know why we didn't in retrospect, but hey. We got the Ogre Pawn, Kabuki Scrams versus Maya, the Diplin here. And we'll see how it goes. Ivy Cudgel with a crit. Now, if it's not become needlessly apparent here, Lady Luck favors me here. My poor sister, just forsaken by whoever is tipping the scales. This crit, while it's nice, it turns this Diplin matchup into a pretty sure win into something that's just horrible. We get this infestation out, but at this point, we really don't care because Kabuki is going to sit here and press Ivy Cudgel again no matter what. We get the Protect, which ain't too bad. We get that extra 12% chip off. Another double Protect, which, honestly, I love the gumption here. I think with Diplin here, you want nobody coming in except maybe a Tyrogue who's already chipped down. Probably enough for an Ivy Cudgel to kill out after an Intimidate. So, I respect the gumption. I respect the Guzmo, the balls, the what have you nots. It's a ball I play. Unfortunately, the coin flip is in my favor. And you can see, if you count it up, do the math, the coin flips seem to always be in my favor. And I promise I didn't pay off Pokemon Showdown. I'm feeling really dirty at this point. Luck is super in my favor. Sun goes down. Arcanine comes up. I'm expecting that E-Speed, so I try to out-priority them with a Spiky Shield, which would do that 12%, killing it dead. It would be a nice play there. But we get the Morning Sun. Another ballsy play here. You got to respect it that when you're in a down position, a kind of scary position with this Ogerpon on the field, her choices are either to play ballsy or go for that speed tie with the Zoroark. And you know what? We chose the balls option. And I gotta respect it. That Morning Sun is nice. E-Speed hitting in, doing a solid chunk, but that Life Orb coming out. And I get the Horn Leech taken, my heal back up, and it's feeling good. Now, we get the Intimidate down. So we're at a weaker spot. I think with this calc, Tyrogue probably lived whatever we throw outside of like an Ivy Cudgel crit. And I decide that I'm up, so I might as well try to press the advantage, and we go for a Trailblaze. Now, the thought behind this play was that if Hitmontop tries to swap into a defense-boosted Alola Tails, sure, it will live, but I can come with the Ivy Cudgel next turn, outspeed the Aurora Veil, which I do without the boost, and then I'd be able to clinch an endgame with no worries because I'd then resolve and win the speed tie with Zoroark. Doesn't go down that way, though. I take this, and we take the close combat straight to the face, and we're feeling like a summer's fool and a spring's child, or whatever they say. Sucker Punch coming out here into Birdman Freka. A solid chip. I think this is essentially a sack, but if I'm remembering correctly, no, I thought I U-turned here. We take the Air Slash and we get that kill. Air Slash coming in for more destructive power, more Demon Time activities clocked in on Air Slash. We've pressed it 7 times in this game already. It's horrible. You hate to see it. You hate to see those flinches. I think we're at 3 right now. Not to foreshadow anything. Poison Chip comes out. Alola kills here. Big Air Slash. Because this ain't yo mama's Alola Tails. You see that hail? No, you don't. It's because this is a Zoroark. And of course, with 2 mons left, this is kind of a dead giveaway. But we get that big Air Slash, and we get a flinch here. You hate to see it. This is the 4th time. I'm feeling horrible. I'm feeling like the worst person in the world now. Swap into the Alola Tails. All you got here. Air Slash, 32%, respectable. And an Air Slash, folks, I'm sorry, another flinch. The Aurora Veil coming up there could have been absolutely massive. It could have honestly changed the entire game. This Zoroark might have been able to sweep after. We would have definitely seen the put down with some Blizzard action. But the flinch comes in. Assuming that was an Aurora Veil being pressed, you just hate to see it. No matter what got pressed, you hate to see it. Coming out here, we get the Protect. Now, I was not presuming a Protect here, but it came for the final pow-wow punch to my Birdman Freka, and we go down now. This is a symptom, I think, of Charlotte being primarily a doubles/VGC player. The love of Protect, but damn, it caught me by surprise. And it got a KO here, so you gotta respect it. Lucario coming out here. This is a tough spot, but you hit the outspeed with Alola Tails. I hit the Brick Break. Very strange here, because I should not be outspeeding. If you look at that, we should be being undersped. We should underspeed by about 42 points, but goddamn, you gotta love it. The slow Lola Tails tech. It's metagame defining. The Aurora Veil comes out. And now I go for a Meteor Mash. I don't know why I didn't go for a Brick Break here. And what's this guy's name? White Fox Creature with red on top comes out. I hit the Endure. This was for Lopunny. This was to survive a close combat after a potential fake out, or on some kind of matchup where we get Jaundice Dog in on a pre-existing Lopunny. So this was for Lopunny. But I looked up, I realized this Zoroark's getting Flamethrower. It could be taking my lights out. It could outspeed my two remainders. So we hit that Endure. The Flamethrower comes out. If the burn comes out here, that 10% burn on Flamethrower comes out here, there's nothing I can do. Hoopa's going to come out and get bodied by this Zoroark under an Aurora Veil. But we endure it. We don't get burned. That slack goes off, and we get that speed boost. The Meteor Mash comes out, and that's game. And whew, horrifying battle. That was 5 or 6 flinches. I think we see Peak there saying 5. But good lord, what a way to start a season. I honestly think that if I hadn't been so lucky, this would have been a straight wash. I think Gliscor would have probably just wiped my whole team. Arcanine too. Like if that Torkoal went down earlier, if that Aurora Veil went up, we would have seen horrible things. So this one, I felt good about the win. I didn't feel good about how I won. I didn't feel good about my skills here because I felt like it could have been a lucky fluke. And we're going to have to wait for the upcoming matches to see if this is true or not. But crazy way, crazy match on crazy pretenses, what with this being a sibling match up. And you know what? It was a fun one to start the season off with.